nerve-wracking. It's really African football. But I thought if there was one team that deserved to win today, it was Orlando Pirates. Not even to go to penalties for the number of chances that we created. But I loved the composure from our team with everything that was happening. At some point, I saw the officials going to VAR, which was functioning. At some point, it didn't function. I think in my eyes, from where I was standing, I also saw two handballs. I don't know whether it's a manipulation of the rule, but it would have been nice to refer the two handballs on VAR. Why it was not working, it's still amazing in my eyes. But having said that, let me thank the Pirates supporters. I thought they gave our players the necessary support. We needed that. I want to thank the players for them, the effort. If Pirates can be like this, we're not only representing, which is what we shared with them, we're not representing the badge only. It was Pirates, it was South Africans, and all millions of internationals that we have in our team, the Nigerians that we have in our team, the Ghanaians, the Namibians, and the Zimbabweans. And for me, that is the pride that I have, and the patience from our management. We are in the right direction. We are in the semi-finals. Let's take it from there.
Thank you, Coach. Colleagues, it's your opportunity to ask questions by raise of hand. Please indicate so that we can give the floor to you. Mr. Cleason, go ahead. I'm not seeing any.
So, can I ask you about the diagonal balls? You played a lot of them today, and there was very little attempts to go through the middle when perhaps you have the capacity to take them on through the middle, and short passes were in short supply, and oftentimes those diagonal balls were long and overcooked. What was the thinking behind all of that?
We have observed that when we play against a block, which is what we predicted, the back five, we just become predictable. When you look at a lot of draws that we have played at home, people can predict how we play, which is why maybe even the substitution, when we took out Mabas or dropped Makaringa to play as a 6, we wanted that penetration through central passages and in the half spaces. If you have to progress the ball from centre backs into midfield, you need that type of players. There was not much pressure from the opponents, so we could take that risk of playing Makaringa, which I thought worked well. Even when we put Lindam Tambo, it was at a moment where we don't want to only go on wide channels, we also want to penetrate central. A bit of nerves, a cup like that, I saw it yesterday, when you're not scoring for longer periods, it gets into the nerves where players lose the composure. But I also thought this week we trained that we have to be a bit direct. Sometimes we get into wide positions. What is different with us? We have the numbers in the box, numerical advantage, but we still don't play the ball in the box. In this match, we had to try score from crosses. We had to score from second balls, and I thought we did well. Even the goal that Pepper scored, it was a half cross, half space cross, which is what we trained. Sometimes Pirates, we play for flamboyance. It looks good. We have done that, dominate possession. But today we wanted to create chances and dominate shots at goal. And I thought it worked for us, although we did not win cleanly as one would have loved.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much. This is Omalipa from Arena Holidays. Coach, firstly, congratulations. I mean, you have been free-flowing in this competition. The same cannot be said in your domestic performances. Some will argue that the danger of not finishing in the top 3 is real. But just how important is this progression to the semi-finals to you as coaches and the technical team?
A controversy. I thought you'll talk about today's game. I always say our team, if you see our team currently, this is not the same team that started the season. There's progress, players coming from injuries. We are improving certain areas, which is what happened today. I don't think you have seen Pirates this direct as we played today. So we're trying to look at all options. We face blocks. Playing against a low block is not easy. Ask any coach. Whether you go wide, if they close the wide channel, other teams they will play with 6 across. So it closes the wide channels. So you have to play with number 10s in front. If they drop the line closer to the goalkeeper, we have to be creative. That is why now you see us bringing a Lodge more creative in front. Dlamini more creative. We have to play through number 10s. A bit of belief, a bit of confidence in our number 10s in that area. Even in the PSL, I think we will improve. But you must be mindful that, like I said, most of our players are coming from injuries. Lodge just came. Maybe it's the first game that he has played to the finish for a longest time. Given time, I think we will improve. But I understand it's important that we fight. There's still an opportunity to finish at position 2. We're still going to play Royal AM. Other teams are still going to play each other. Let it be. Let's try. Let's go as far as we can. But for now, just allow us to celebrate that we are in the semi-finals.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, congratulations on going through to the semis. How important was composure, especially as they were going down like flies? I think the keeper started early in the first half to do that, and also knowing that you had a one-man advantage, because it looked like they were, as soon as they got that red card, they were already looking forward to the penalties.
I must be honest with you. This team is well drilled in delaying tactics. Whoever has coached them to do that, but it should not be part of the game. But I don't think that was a coincidence that they played like that. They played for penalties, but I even think, even outside, it was important for Pirates to be composed. That team is very intelligent in terms of, one, the social media invasion that they had, trying to destabilize us for the whole week. I've never seen people that can are not wrong in any scenario. We're not the only team that had issues about them. I think all teams that have visited that country and that team, they've had issues. But for them to come out and deny, even say that when teams come there, we offer them coffee. If it's what they offered us, coffee, then they've got a really bad coffee, and I'm not. I'm okay with that coffee. But they are well. You can see it's a well schooled because they are articulate in their fabrication of everything that happens there. My only concern, they must sweep that. It's not good for them. Because if they do that, you can see their history. They play so well at home, but when they go away, they don't win. For me, that's an indication that something wrong happens there. I don't want to repeat that. They have got good energy to do all the fabrication. Channel all that energy in the right direction by working on the team to be successful so that they can play away and play a fair game. This is not football. This is not football what they do in their country. But it is their strategy. It works for them. But a good advice. They've got good energy. They've got articulate people that have got degrees that they got from London. But that is not football related. Channel that into football. It will help them a lot.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach, we saw Richard Okorie take the last penalty. Was that part of the plan? And an update from Marco, please. Thank you.
If I had a choice, Ofori will be the first one to take a penalty. He is a good penalty taker. I've never seen him in all my history. I'm even thinking the other penalty shootouts that we did not win. Maybe if one took him, it would have been different. Hindsight, he's a good penalty taker. Marco, I'm grateful that even slept at my place. He visited me, so he's recovering, and God is good. It could have been worse, but I don't think we'll see him this season. But I'm just happy that he's alive and healthy, and he will play football again.
SIMBA's coach Pablo Martin and Griffith now, just before you came in, that you guys were the better team over the 180 minutes. And obviously today we saw a completely different Orlando Pirates. You mentioned it a little bit, how much was having fans here for the first time since like March 2020
I'm really grateful. I thought the supporters made a big difference, and we are really happy. We love their patience. I think they supported the team correctly. But there's also a stat that says teams that are playing at home have got an 80% chance of winning a match. Pirates, if all Pirate supporters can be in stadiums, I can tell you that we will win a lot of matches, because Pirates have got so much support that anywhere where they go, they'll have supporters. COVID-19 has affected bigger teams than smaller teams. Smaller teams are used to playing in empty stadiums, but we are not, and that has affected us. It's not an excuse, it's reality. I'm just grateful that our supporters came to support us. I just wish there could be more in the next matches, but I also know there's challenges in terms of the COVID regulations and vaccination. I just hope the numbers increase, but at the end we are very grateful for their support. It really helped our team.
We'll take the last two questions. If there are any takers.
Good evening, Coach. Michael Malaga from the Star Newspaper. Congratulations for the win. Coach, you may not have been here in 2015 when the team finished in the final in Tunisia, but you probably know the history of the club and you've heard from the players as well, such as Captain Hobbited. But with this win now, does that inject more or less some sort of belief that you can go all the way this season? And secondly, you mentioned that you watched the game yesterday, Sundowns and Petro. With them being out of the competition, does that some sort of give you pressure, enjoyable pressure that can represent Africa on the continent this season?
Pressure is the name. When you enter the door at Pirates, you are under pressure. It's just that, like you're saying, there's added pressure. But again, it's good pressure. For me, I see it I'm a pessimist. I'm not a pessimist, I'm an optimist. I see it as good representation for our country. Right now, we are the only team that is surviving. Pirates must take the responsibility of representing our country. For me, it's no longer about teams. It's about us representing the country. And I hope all South Africans currently will be Pirates supporters when we are playing the next matches, because we're not only representing Pirates, but you're representing the whole country. I missed the first part of your question.
The first one, the history of Pirates having finished in the final in 2015.
Pirates have always been in African Championship. I think Roger Tissa went into the final. Eric Tinkler went into the final. They won the cup in 1995. I don't think there's anything new. It also helps us that some of the players have been part of that history. So one, it helps with that experience. Let's go on, but we are in the competition to win it. We shouldn't be in this competition to make numbers. And with the history that this club has done it before, we should do it. And it's important that we work and get into the mainstream. That's my wish, that Pirates go into the main one, without saying that this one is an easier one. It's still a big honor.
Take the last questions and then we'll wrap it up, Mr. Myando.
Okay. Coach, you will find out your opponent tonight, Tripoli or Al Ittihad. Are you looking maybe at having a second bite at Al Ittihad?
I will prefer, it's better the devil you know than the one that you don't know. I'll rather prefer, I know the field, I know how to travel there, difficult as it is. We know the hotel. I'll rather have a second bite of what we have experienced. Difficult as it is with the customs in that country, where we don't even have an embassy. So you can imagine if we have challenges there. But between the two teams, I'll choose the one that we have played before. I think we've got a better opportunity.
Coach, can I ask we just squeeze in one last one?
Thanks, I appreciate that. So you'll be playing second leg in the semi, as you did here today. Is that an advantage? We always do that as a journalistic thing, we always say it's much better to have the second leg, but I wanted to ask you, is it a big advantage? And then, if I may ask you also about the Libyans, will that be that artificial turf? I watched that game where you lost 3-2. You did seem to battle a little bit with them. How could you maybe work on that to rectify that?
What was your first one, Mark?
About having the second leg of the semi here.
With the experience of Africa and how South Africans are good in treating visitors and how hostile it gets when you get into other countries, I would prefer to start away, because they have hope. They won't be as ruthless, knowing they still come here. I can imagine if we were to play the second leg away in this team that we have just played, I don't think we would have come back. Maybe we would have to send the helicopter to pick us up. So I prefer it that way. And then, Mark, I don't know why when South Africans ill-treat our foreign brothers, it's xenophobic. But when we get treated this bad in other countries, it's not xenophobic. And I don't know why are South Africans normal with it. There was someone who commented that but Sundowns are winning through the barriers. But it still have to be mentioned that is not good treatment. It has to improve. Sport is a social event that should create friends. But in the field of play, we have to be competitive, try to win. But use means that are within the game, not other means where aircons are pulled, you put the gas, there's food poisoning. That's deadly for me. Put it within the confines of winning. 60,000 supporters, perfect. That's good. That team has got good support. But try and maneuver and keep it within the confines of humanity. Don't take it outside that, which I think other teams, they take to that level.
And artificial turf?
We have to try and get an artificial turf. My recommendation before, I know it's different, it's not as good, but when we went there first time, we did not train in an artificial turf, and some of our players are really uncomfortable. But it is what it is, Mark. You can't choose parents. You were born in that family. We'll have to go there, make the best out of it. We can't complain. It's not a stage to complain. Pirates must fight as soldiers and represent the badge, the country, and all the millions of supporters of Pirates.